What's up, everybody? Hanging out here at the house, fixing to have a little bourbon, and we figured we would rope you guys in for another Whiskey Wednesday. Wanted to do something a little more readily available. I actually happened to buy this because it's on sale. It was like really on sale too. It was like $20 off. So these normally run about 45 bucks. We got this for significantly less than that, which is super exciting. Now, I will say this is a single barrel pick, so unless you're here in Knoxville and you're by Bob's Liquor and Wine, who do fantastic bourbon picks, you probably aren't going to have this one specific pick, but there are plenty out there. I think almost every store in Knoxville has an Old Scout pick. Old Scout Smooth Ambler is the name of the company. Old Scout is the specific brand. They're out of West Virginia. And yeah, West Virginia, USA. Maxwellton, wherever that is. If you have the really, really old ones, they are MGP, Midwestern Grain Product Juice. If you get the ones that are intermittent, and also the really high aged ones, those are George Dickel from Tennessee. And the newer ones that are coming out are MGP as well. You can tell on the back, you will see distilled in Indiana if they're from MGP, and if they're from George Dickel, you will see most likely a higher age statement, like 13 years, 12 years, and it'll say distilled in Tennessee. And likely to say bottle, it will always say bottled by Smooth Ambler Spirits Co., Maxwellton, West Virginia, USA. These guys have been in the game for quite a while. They've made some really awesome gin in the past that always seems to get allocated in our market. And I've got the chance to work with them in the past a little bit here and there. Full disclosure, we do own some MGP stock. So just figured we would let that go out there. But I don't think it's going to really affect how we feel about the flavors here. And this is going to be our first fresh crack video. Normally we already have the whiskey resting. With this being a fresh crack, it's going to be most likely the same. So we're going to go ahead and pull this, this foil for this crack here. And we'll get, I hate this parafilm stuff that people put on these liquor bottles. I can't tell you how many times I've chewed my hands up late night in a bar. And then that was a good one. That was a really good one. So we've got 58% alcohol by volume. So we're just shy of 120 proof here. I wish that I had a Vinatieri. If you guys don't know what those are, they're used for wine, and you put like it's got this. It's like a double chambered thing, and you take it and you press the thing down, and it aerates your wine. But I've seen guys use it for bourbon, and especially for like older and higher proof bourbons and Armagnacs and things like that. And man, yeah, super cool. I hope to get one at some point. I think they're like 50 or 60 bucks for the Vinatieri's. But yeah, let's get a nose on this. I've always felt like MGP has a very similar profile to Wild Turkey, but Wild Turkey's got more like up to it. I may or may not be a Wild Turkey fan.
You're stupid.
No, I'm not. So like even with like I really like the guys down in Nelson Greenbrier that make Belle Meade, and I think Belle Meade's a great product. But like especially if you can get the single barrels and the higher age stuff, like they do a really good job of their blending. The cognac, the sherry, the best sherry cast finish bourbon I've ever had. So the nose, right off the bat, caramelly. It's got like a nice spice profile to it. Some good like brown sugar notes and some fruit. We cooked pork today. I can smell the pork in the room too. It's a little hard to really get into the glass and pull some notes out, but it doesn't smell hot. That's the thing. I mean, for 58% ABV, so 116. Thanks. 116 proof, you know, you're not picking up that like robust heat on the nose, and it's really like inviting and soft, which is amazing. I don't think I mentioned it, but this is 5 years age stated, which for me, a lot of people really like high aged bourbon. You know, the Pappy Van Winkle craze of getting up into the 20 years, the 23 years, the 18s. With bourbon, for me, 90% of the time, all of that seems to be significantly over-oaked. So I do tend to stick closer to, I would say, like for special occasions, for like New Riff, Wilderness Trail, I'm happy with 4. Even with, you know, things I've tasted at Jack that have been in a barrel for 4 years, Old Forester, and then up to 10, 12. Once I hit about 13, it starts getting a little much for me. Whew. There's some heat on the palate. There's no heat on the nose. There's some heat on the palate. That being said, it's super rich. It's like just this overwhelming, sweet, like caramelly, like Werther's Original on the front of the tongue, and it like works its way to the sides. And there's this light touch right in the dead center of the palate, moving towards the back, that kind of balances out that very rich tone that this bourbon has. And then it all comes as you go to swallow. It just all comes with the heat. Man, this is really nice. I would love to make some old fashions with this. Like, especially we have a couple people over, and I'm assuming this is a higher rye content just based off of the nose and based off it being MGP. They do so much rye whiskey, and so much rye comes out of there. It's a super cool. I really hope to get the chance to one day go and see it. It's not a place that they do like actual tours there in Lawrence, Indiana. I think is where MGP is located, is in Lawrence. But it's massive. It's just a giant factory that makes whiskey. So let's get one more sip and see if we can really investigate after that initial palate shock. I've not had any whiskey before that one sip today, so. Yeah, it's a little, whew. Okay, I was about to say it's a little flat, and then I got a lot of spice on the tongue, like overwhelming cinnamon across most of the palate. I feel like it could have spent another year in a barrel, but it doesn't have like that nasty, like corny cream corn thing that you get when things are immature. I think that it would be interesting to see how it would have matured a little bit longer. But for 5 years, I mean, it's pretty good. It's, I'm glad I got it on sale. I'd have been upset if I paid like $48, $50 for it and it tasted like this, because you could buy Wild Turkey 101 for $20, $23. And my personal opinion, I think Wild Turkey 101 is a superior product to this specific barrel pick. But I'm happy we got to try it. I'm happy we got to sit here and talk about it and support the fine folks at Midwestern Grain Product, and more importantly the smaller guys there in Maxwellton, West Virginia. I'm curious to know if what else they have coming down the pike. You know, they used to have the very old Scouts, or very rare old Scouts, the ryes, and those go for real money now. So, anywho, yeah, guys, subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends about us, and we just can't believe you're still watching, to tell you the truth. So if you guys want to interact with us, comment, and you can follow us on Instagram at mleonard31. We'll see you next week to drink some more whiskey. Cheers.